a man in the desert found a golden rock and called his partner over to show it to him. His partner immediately used a lighter to confirm it was real gold. Excited, they began digging with shovels. However, even after digging a large pit 5 meters in diameter, they couldn't unearth the gold. They decided to try and move it together, but the gold wouldn't budge. They tied a rope to the gold mass, attempting to pull it out with their car. However, the rope snapped instantly under the immense pressure. They realized it wasn't just a piece of gold, but a gold mountain. That night, they sat by the campfire discussing how to excavate the gold mountain. Tony suggested one person go back to town for equipment while the other stayed to guard the gold. Since Tony had extensive desert survival experience, he decided to stay. However, Jack didn't trust Tony and insisted on staying himself. Tony had no choice but to agree. Jack didn't know he was about to fall into a desperate situation. Early the next morning, Tony divided the remaining supplies and took most of the drinking water. He left Jack with only a satellite phone and a spare battery. The desert sun was brutally harsh. Jack made a makeshift sun shelter with canvas and gathered a pile of dry branches to prepare for the coming night. That night, to conserve food, Jack only ate a bite of canned food before going to sleep. Waking up to the scorching sun, Jack immediately looked at the gold mountain, as it was his only motivation to survive. Over the next 2 days, he continued gathering branches and building his shelter. He didn't even care that his skin was burned by the intense UV radiation. He lay in his tent, looking at the precious gold, a satisfied smile on his face. However, his last bit of drinking water was accidentally spilled, and Jack was severely dehydrated. He sat next to the gold, staring at the glittering metal, and finally lost control. Jack picked up a rock and successfully broke off a gold nugget, enough to live a wealthy life. As he prepared to leave with the nugget, the satellite phone suddenly rang. Tony told him the pickup truck had broken down and he would have to postpone his return by a day. However, when Tony learned that Jack had already taken a piece of gold, Tony immediately promised to get it back as soon as possible. At night, the branches were all burned. To fend off the wild wolves surrounding him, he had to use a torch to drive them away. Just like that, he survived another night. He prepared to sleep with the gold nugget, but his sunburned skin caused him great pain. Jack decided to look for water nearby. Suddenly, he saw a mysterious figure walking straight towards him.